Hello, everyone. My name is KJ, and welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. And today, video is my non-spoiler review for the new movie by DC Studios, Supergirl, which is in theaters right now. Right now. So you may heard about it. You see the mixed reviews. You're not sure if this is worth seeing it or just worth waiting to hit streaming service. You really don't know, but let me be the one to convince you to check out Supergirl, which is in theaters right now, because I think it's worth the movie ticket price. I think it's worth going out to see it. And I think y'all will enjoy this film because it has such an amazing stuff about it. And again, this is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not gonna spoil anything that reflects on the main story, the main plot of it. I'm not going to talk about the plot twist or the surprises and the all the fun stuff, but I do have a spoiler review video here on the YouTube channel Great Talk and Entertainment. If you have seen it, definitely check out my spoiler review for Supergirl. So, before I dive into my non-spoiler review for Supergirl, check out this skit that I made for y'all. So, enjoy. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. This kryptonite is so good. What? What is this? I think this kryptonite juice is not good for me. Nope, nope. I think I'm going outside to touch the grass. The 2026 Supergirl film is an action packed superhero film that the audience is going to be on a fun, wild, and crazy adventure that takes place in outer space and with elements of a girl and her dog dynamic duel. It's a girl's best friend, and this is also just has a mix of about two different people, two different women who meet, and they act like they're sisters and they've known each other for such a long time, but they just met. And this film has an emotional journey that takes the audience, and you would even notice you're fighting back the tears so they don't come out your eyes. This film also has a feel to it where at times this film reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy at times, but I think that's okay to me personally because this actually these those type of elements fit Supergirl and it makes sense. And they do a really good job showcasing the difference between Superman and Supergirl as far as their viewpoint in life, their perspective, and they really show her in a way where they don't change her too much with where it doesn't affect the main core of that DC character Supergirl, Kari, but it also shows other elements of her that you would have to read in comic books, but I feel like they did such an amazing job in this film showcasing a softer side of her, an emotional side of her, where she's still dealing with so much that's gone on in her life. And again, really good at showing her version of how she views life versus how her cousin Superman views life, and showing the case that their paths are completely too different, but they both have the same core value, as a Kryptonian or just as a superhero in general. So they do a really good job with that. And I think this is a film is so worth watching. Am so shocked that something like Rotten Tomatoes on the critic side gave it, I think, like a 57 or a 60% score. And I think that's just crazy because this had so much of it just had a good story to it. It's a good origin story for to showcase Supergirl for the people who are now just getting introduced to Supergirl, but also covering their tracks of catering to the diehard fans of superhero films like me. And I think they did an excellent job balancing that out. And also, too, I honestly believe like the whole cast in this film did such an amazing job bringing these characters to life and make you feel and care. And there's a lot of in-depth character growth that you see in this film that really makes it such an awesome superhero film of this year. For example, Millie Alcott, she did such an amazing job portraying Supergirl that I can't believe like the hate that she's getting. Like first of all, I think she is a beautiful woman and she really portrayed Supergirl so well that this is her role, this is her character, you know. And to compare her uh in this universe, the way she portrays Supergirl really fits well with the Superman movie that came out last year or the year before, something like that. But it really matches us up. And honestly, she nailed it. I think she did an amazing job. And she really, again, embodied this character so well. And she really knew the mannerisms of Supergirl in general. And, obviously, they added like new personality to her in the way just on her, but you can tell this actress, she really got even if she watched it or maybe the people behind the scenes who helped coached her through this really took a lot of elements from the people who played Supergirl in the past as well and kind of mixed them all in to create this, kind of like how Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, who played Spider-Man, and seeing Tom Holland portray Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. This is kind of like how they're doing this with Supergirl in a way, as far as just taking little elements from the past and creating now what we see in this film. I think she did an amazing job for that. And again, she did really well in that. So it's definitely worth seeing, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, let me talk about the things I didn't like about it, and I'll talk about the things that I did like about it. The first thing that I didn't like about it, I wish, and maybe maybe it was cut out for a good reason. Maybe they're saving this for something else. But I do wish that they would have focused more on her past. But I also understand that she this film was really focusing on the now, the current of what she would be doing now in this rebooted DCU universe, you know, from DC Studios. So I understand that, and she seems well established establish as far as like, past uh DC films. They really start from the way beginning. Think of like the Batman, the Dark Knight. They started way back of his origin story, just as Bruce Wayne as a little kid, all the way to adult that becomes Batman type stuff. They didn't really do that with this character and stuff, but they have in the past, whether it's TV shows, old movies, animation series movies, or cartoon shows. They used to do it, but they really just kind of already well established, kind of. She's kind of like this would be like if you ever read the comic book Batman Year One, this would be like Supergirl Year One. Like this is her first year as being Supergirl, and this is kind of like her trying to find her way in life type stuff. And that's kind of a theme pattern that DC Studios is starting to do more, or it slash Warner Brothers or Paramount at this point. But that's kind of like their pattern now the with the DC continuity. So it's fine. I just wish for a character like Supergirl, who is I would say well known, but maybe not well known enough where the general public really understands. Like I think people are aware of Supergirl, because they know Superman. But this to me, I wish they showed a little bit more of her deeper in her origin story and comic book type reference. That's what I kind of wish, but it's not a big deal. It's really not because again, I think this is a film that should get the trilogy route. Get put two more films in and let's have a trilogy of Supergirl, 1, 2, and 3, basically. But I think it's worthy enough in this, and I think this is a well told story of Supergirl. And the last thing that I didn't like about it, which is not a big deal, but I think if you watch the Superman movie with Crypto the dog, visually, Crypto the dog looked better in Superman movie. This one, there was times where you can tell it was a fake dog. Like the CGI, they look like they didn't really polish the CGI, or they just, well, I hate to say it, but they probably AI Crypto in certain scenes in this movie. But there were scenes where you can tell it was an actual dog. But again, not a big deal because again, it's a I'm not saying it's just a dog, but it's hard to imagine what a dog would do in outer space, basically. And so it's not like a big deal, but those are the only two that I didn't like about it. Now, let me talk about the things that I did like about this film. I did like the main plot. I think the main plot is what I think is always the best route when you make a superhero film is literally make it a superhero story. Give it that superhero adventure story. And I think they nailed it with this. This would if if you guys read any Supergirl movie or Supergirl comic book, I apologize. Supergirl, if you read any Supergirl comic book, if you have or haven't, and if you did the first time and then watch this movie reminds you of a typical Supergirl comic book story. And I think that's more important to put out in live action movies based on superhero characters, and I think they nailed it. They did really good telling that main plot of a Supergirl story. She did Supergirl things. She was in situations that only Supergirl could possibly be in if you read any comic books, and if you haven't read a Supergirl comic book, I encourage y'all to read one because you'll understand what I'm saying with that. But that's why I like the main plot slash the main story of this. The second thing that I like about this too is when it was time to show dark times in this movie, they did, and I think with the main villain in this was so good at this, and this was you know what? And it's so this villain here, the main villain in this film, Krim, was so refreshing that it's been to me. It's been a long time in the sense of there was a villain that wasn't a top tier villain like a Thanos, a Dark Side, a Dark Vader at this point. But this was a villain that was least not low, but high up, very challenging for Supergirl, challenging for Supergirl to complete her adventure, her mission, whatever you want to call it, and do her superhero stuff, right? Superhero duties, I should say. But that's what I liked about when this movie did show some dark times. You know, when what is a superhero supposed to do in certain situations? And it's the heroic stuff. So I think the dark times they really nailed that too. And awesome again. I loved it. Now again, Millie Alcock, she did such a great job in this film, and I loved everything she did. Again, like she really portrayed Supergirl so well, and it was peak. I mean, it was peak good. Like she brought this character to life. I'm more of a fan of her now as Supergirl, and I don't want to see nobody else play Supergirl for a while. Just for a while. I think there's so much you can do with this actress of her playing Supergirl. I mean, so much you can do. Again, let's do two more Supergirl movies, give her that trilogy, but also let's put her in other DC films or shows as Supergirl. Like, let's go. We can do this. Please, James Gunn, please do that. So again, she did so well, and I think this they proved all the haters on this to me personally. Now, Jason Momoa as Lobo, never ever let Jason Momoa play Aquaman ever again, please. Again, he did great as Aquaman, and I do like the Aquaman movies, but Jason Momoa as Lobo in this movie was so awesome, so fun. He was funny. It had people laughing in the theater. Like, he embodied this character so well, and I wanna see more Lobo in the DCU universe, please. I wanna see that because this character is awesome. He's a badass, he's tough, and he's mean too, so really good. And then Eve Ridley, who played Ruth, excuse me, Ruthie Murney Knoll, who Eve Ridley plays, really embodied this character and again nailed it. Like really made this character believable. And this is a character like if you're just a casual fan watching this and you don't really read the comic books like that, like I think they really did a good job of introducing this character to a new audience, and I think this is a character that people will grow to like and love and want to become a fan of and see more of this character for sure. Like, I think they nailed it with this. The way they showed her in this film, just seeing her challenges and struggles, it really helps the audience want to root for her, and care for her at times because this is like she has that underdog type vibe to it, and I think again they nailed it with this. And she's one of the best. parts or one of the best characters in the Supergirl film. Besides, Supergirl is the best main character, but she's the best. This character here, Ruth, is just really good. I think you guys will enjoy seeing this character and hopefully more in other content if you just ask for it. So really good. And again, what I said about Crypto visually in this film, besides that, Crypto is the star of the show. Crypto is the dog of the year in the DC movie film. So really good. Now, if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, this is an 8 out of a 10. It is a classic. I would say right now, this is Supergirl is the summer blockbuster of the year, but I may change my mind. I may change my mind. I don't know because I'm gonna compare this to the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie, which that comes out next month. But as of now, I think this movie is the summer blockbuster of the year. But that may change when Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters next month. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I hope you guys see this because you checked out my non-spoiler review, guys. And if you guys did, please let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think about Supergirl as well. I want to hear it. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you didn't like it? Let me know. I want to know. But that's my spoiler review, y'all, or non-spoiler review, y'all. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys and peace.